see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. Just turn around and go. I can't do this anymore. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know that I let you go. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. I want you to know.
Welcome everybody. Greetings. It's good to have you. It is day 21 of our daily calls, day 11 of our official rebrand to IAMDIVINITY. Shout out to you, Powell. See you. I saw you asking for the link. Sorry about the technical difficulties. It's kind of, the 3D is getting a little bit difficult at this point. Shout out to you. Who just said that they were coming from Toronto? Oh, Joanne. And welcome to all you beautiful people. It's good to have you. It's good to have you. I'm sure there's probably going to be some questions about some of the recent activity, let's just call it that, in the group. And we'll address all of that today. But first things first, I would just really love to, as people are coming in, just figure out where you guys are calling in from, as always, whether you're here on Zoom, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Just drop below. Awesome. Sweden. The Netherlands. Welcome, Lee. Sweden. Maryland, Colorado Springs, North Carolina. Welcome, Linda. Welcome, Sheila from North Carolina. Awesome. New Jersey, Michigan. Just gonna give it a couple of minutes as these people come in, because it's been a slightly a late start. Very interesting day. Very, very, very interesting day. And I'll just share with you guys a little bit about how it started for me. Interestingly enough, so I've been here, it's been close to a month now. I got here, I think I flew into Manila January the 1st, stayed there for a day, then flew into Davao City the next day. Didn't get here till about after midnight, so basically January the 3rd today. Yeah, so it's about a month. And actually right before Jamie invited me to come out, I had a friend, I'm not gonna say any names or whatever, just for the story's sake. She messaged me, she's like, hey, I have my dad, he's out there in the Philippines, and he's building some land. And mind you, this friend, I had pretty good friendship with this person. I had helped her in so many different ways. I helped her become not have to have, you know, taxes, not have to pay taxes, remove all tax liability in the US. Helped her in so many ways, whether just you know, in just so many different ways. You know, and so we were friends, and she was gonna come to the Philippines anyways before I ever mentioned I was going to the Philippines. And Jamie invited me. He's like, hey, like, come to the Philippines. And so I told her, I'm like, hey, like, I'm actually going to the Philippines. Well, she ended up coming to Davao City last week. And she's done like all of the spiritual work. She's done like whatever, you know, we actually met at a breathwork event about 3 years ago. And so yeah, she's done all the spiritual work, you know. And interestingly enough, this person, like, I had helped her actually have like a really big breakthrough with Dawn's process. She had linked linked her, like, all of her suffering, because like, every other day she's telling me she was spiraling and all this stuff and blah blah blah. You know, I was like, you should breathe, right? And like, why hasn't it worked? Well, she did Dawn's process, and in literally under an hour, she was able to link why all of that stuff was happening. And she she remembered a moment when she was only a few months old. She actually got molested by her own stepfather, and she told me that for the first time in her entire life, she actually felt joy. But she didn't actually continue to do the divine focus. And so she was in and out of her divinity. And the ego actually got back in, which is, it doesn't matter who you are if you're not keeping up with the process, right? Like, that's what happens. It's happened to me, it's happened to Jamie, you know. So anyways, so this person actually ended up sending me a message today in the morning telling me how sick I was and how we're all spiritual fuckboys and how we're going to we're no worse than these religious leaders and whatnot. So it's interesting because I would have responded so much differently as the Sam back in the day. But what I realized is it was the ego working through her, right? And I told her, I was like, yeah, I was sick before this. I was addicted to weed. I was smoking weed for over 12 years every single day. I was, addicted to building businesses. Like, I was a workaholic. I didn't make time for my wife. I spent more time on my computer working, taking care of all these other things rather than spend it with my own wife, which I chose, right? Regardless of what happened. I was addicted to money, right? That was my God. I was addicted to sex. And so, I mean, and now I'm free of all that. So like it was interesting to see the ego work through that person trying to get me out of my divinity. And so I sent her like a really thoughtful message. I already knew where she was at and just like wishing her freedom and, and whatnot. So it's really interesting whenever you start to shift your internal world, there will be things and people that the ego is working through to get you off your path. And that's why the divine focus is it's mandatory, right? It's not a recommendation. You have to do it. I mean, we're not going to force you, but if you want to stay in your divinity and continue to operate from here, then it's no ifs, ands, or buts, right? This is serious business. And so I just want to start off with that. And yeah, it takes dedication. It takes accountability to yourself. And for me now, it's like I was addicted to all those things, right? The money, the cars, the sex, the house, the travel, all that stuff. It's an infinite list of things that the ego is addicted to, because the ego is never satisfied. It's never satisfied with what it has. It always wants more and more and more and more and more. And it continues to use every single excuse to not be satisfied. And so what we decided is that with the Incomation, we don't want to actually, I was never part of Incomation. I was actually watching on the sidelines the entire time because the concept sounded really good, but my intuition was telling me like I should wait. And I'm glad that I did. But now we have a completely different mission because we understand like I am divinity helping you access that. That's the best thing that we could do for you. And all of the other things, the money, the health, the relationships, all these other things will fall into place naturally. And so we're completely getting rid of everything that's associated with Incomation, whether that's the Pioneer Fund, whether that's the Incomation Facebook page, all of that. We're just wiping our hands clear of that because we want to start a new page, we want to turn a new chapter, or actually just write a new book. And that's exactly what I Am Divinity is here to help you, because I am nowhere near the person I was even a couple weeks ago. Right? I'm nowhere near that person. I mean, these guys can vouch for me, you know what I mean? Like, I had 4 girlfriends at one time, and I was I was saying that I'm a man, right? And because I'm Muslim and you're allowed to marry more than four women. And one night I was like, oh, like, you know, I got a lot of love to give. But now I realize that was operating from the ego. And so we're completely showing you guys what it feels like to step into this new, not new, but it's the original version of you, right? The natural state is the supernatural state. And so with that being said, if you have any questions, we can answer that later, but I just want to open up the call with that. We're completely divorcing the ego, and we're 100% committed to our sweetheart, I Am Divinity. So with that being said, I would like to introduce Mr. Jamie Divine. He forgets his name sometimes. So yeah, it's this guy right here, that's in the Canadian body, wearing the pink suit. Have him come up here and bring the fire. And we do have a special guest, Mr. Don Smith, here in the house. So you guys will get to experience him as well. So Mr. Jamie, will you come up here? Yes, that's you. Sure. Hello, everyone. Oh, well, nice to see you. Can I see the names, the participants? Well, hi, Vanessa. Okay, cool. So,
Hello.
hi, Linda. Excited to hear your transformation, Linda. That was awesome. Michael, Sheila, great to see you. Tiffany. Okay, well, today was quite the shitstorm, to say the least. I'm honestly still processing just the attacks that are coming in right now. Right? And so we announced in the group that instead of dragging Incomation and many people that were really just in it for a money program, dragging it into the I Am Divinity, which we intend to be a very pure community, we decided to do a clear-cut Incomation. We're just blowing that up. We're closing it down, and we're giving everyone the free will and choice to come to I Am Divinity or not. And with that was the Pioneer Fund. And I feel a little like I'm unraveling a toxic marriage at the moment, where I'm just getting abused, and the egos get me to question if I did something wrong or what I did wrong.
that's the ego. It's gonna, no matter what you do, 99.9% good, it's gonna find that 0.1% of what's wrong and just blow it up. And that's what I've been experiencing in this transition of the community today. So I am excited to move forward in a strong, healthy way, to have the new community be a new community. And I've shared with all of you what the reason of Incomation was, and it was, first of all, the ego taking me out on a crazy goose chase. At the time, I remember going back and forth with Don, and but Don, consciousness without money sucks, and money without consciousness sucks, so we need both. And he's like, okay, well, let me know how that works out. Have a nice crash, see you next fall type thing. And that's what Incomation was. It was this this twisted ego journey of, we need to get the money to go to get the divinity, and it just used that against me. There was no limit. The people that were coming in, I mean, we had literally gotten to the point that we were doing every single part of the whole financial system with the prop firms. So we figured out how to pass them, then we figured out how to trade on them. And then we did instead of just teaching people how to do it, we're like, okay, we'll just do everything for them, because they were coming in and they're like, I don't know where to find my account number. So it was down to literally just a Google form. All they had to do was sign up to the prop firm and fill out a Google form with their name and the account number and the password, so that we could do everything for them. And even with that, we got up to 80 employees and 2 offices, and it still wasn't enough support for all of these, I don't know how, and all these support questions. It was never ending. And all of my time and energy was going to it. And it was just never satisfied. We could never make people happy. We're never doing enough. And then when the prop firms decided to close up on all of us, it's oh shit, now what can we do to take the responsibility for all these people that are obviously angry? Even though we didn't get a dime from the prop firms, we didn't get any of our commissions, we didn't get any of our trading profits, that we worked for months to do this for everyone. And so we looked at it and it's okay, there's about 10% of the funds left here. Let's just put it in charity and start trading it for everyone, and then see where that takes us. Well, let me tell you, it's been 4 months of all the members not doing anything except for, where's my charity fund? Where's my charity payout? Where's my... And I did everything that I could. Did absolutely everything that I could. Don knows that I don't have the quit bone in me, and so my challenge is the not wanting to quit, but now needing to surrender. And that for me was a fine line. I didn't know where that was. And so today I absolutely surrender to that whole shit show. Just a total mess. And most people are extremely pissed off at our new path of of divinity, and we've heard every single attack that we're running some cult and we're trying to possess people and all of this crazy shit. And yeah, I've just totally had enough of it. Totally ready to surrender.
Jamie, can I say something? I think that people don't realize how much time is required to back out of a system that didn't work out, with the prop firms, and then rebuilding, because it took how long to build information. And we're not in that same frame of time as of yet. And I really want to acknowledge you for your tenacity, your vision, your patience, your loyalty, and taking responsibility. Very few people would have the backbone to do that. And that speaks loud for your personality. Sorry, I interrupted, but just felt I needed to send that message to you and the people here.
Thank you so much. And that roots back to what the original vision was. When I went through Don's program in April 2020, I knew it was the only solution to literally all the problems that were within me. First, being a narcissist and an alcoholic, weed addict, sex addict, caffeine addict, money addict. I mean, the list goes on. It was the solution for all of that. And I know it's the only solution on in the entire world for everyone individually and collectively. And so we launched IAMDIVINITY back then in 2020. And it was a crazy roller coaster, to say the least, of ups and downs. And it wasn't until just this week that I was looking back at it all and seeing how many people are now open to the process. Like my younger brother's a prime example. He called me yesterday and he said, man, I went through so much pain this year. I need to come out of the Philippines. I need to do this transformation thing. I'm just ready and open to a solution. And if you know my younger brother, he was the last person I could have imagined calling and saying that. So we did a lot energetically in those few years. And again, it was just the ego like attacking us from, and if you go into the community group today, you see live examples of what was going on. And some of them close friends. Like Sam was mentioning, a very close friend of him has came out here and just hung out with us for a couple hours, and then the next morning there was this huge attack, and all we gave was kindness and just wanted to help. So yeah, it's been a lot. As I said, I'm still processing it, but I'm excited to just totally dissolve that entire system, because we can't have both. We can't have the ego and the divinity in the same system. It doesn't work. So as much as we wanted to bring everyone, I know there's a couple family members of mine I attempted to drag into divinity on multiple occasions. That's not how it works. And so we had to give that clear-cut choice today to honor everyone's free will. And then just be transparent as we always have been. We had a good chunk of money 4 months ago. We haven't charged anything to anyone for 4 months. Like, there's been a lot of expenses to keep everything going, and now we're rebuilding this new, a lot of expenses to get that going. And it's like, okay, well, it's not like we had a set aside money for the Pioneer Fund. It was, this is everything we have, guys. We want to try to use it as much as we can to help everyone. And it's like 4 months later, and not many people have been on board with what we're doing now. So we need to just let go and surrender it and move forward. So I really honor those of you that have been showing up every day, really. Been here every day. And I'm due for a divine focus. It's been a rough couple last hours. So I'm gonna let Don come on and share with you while he's here. February 7th, we're just locking in the details, and we'll have the group transformation on my birthday. That will be amazing. My younger brother will be here as well. He's flying in on the 2nd. So a lot of amazing things going on in the new system as I released I ripped the Band-Aid off today, so to speak, and it's a little painful to see all that, especially some of them that, like I said, just I thought were close friends, just sending out vicious attacks. But as we know, it's all the ego just operating through them. And unfortunately, the people that need the transformation the most tend to be the last ones to go through it. And so that's their choice, that's their free will. We're just going to keep moving forward with all of you that are on this journey with us. And we'll have the financial systems, but just exclusive in the background to IAMDIVINITY. We're not going to keep two systems going like it's been. And yeah, start fresh together. I know some of you on the call here have already just had such a priceless experience. That's really what I wanted when we went through that mess together. It was like, okay, well, the biggest gift I could give everyone is this transformation with Dawn. And we opened it up for free for 4 months. Like Dawn has been paid $1 million on multiple occasions to work with them. Like, I don't know what else we get, and even that, by the way, doesn't do it justice. Like it's so priceless to be completely free from all that toxicity. You really can't put a price on it. I was just watching the Elton John documentary, and like what a prime example, a shining star, but the ego trip that he went on and the crash that he had. And he actually has the same name as my birth father, my dad. My dad was named after him, Elton John's real name, which is Reginald Dwight. So that was my dad's name. And watching the movie, I could see different face, same name, same toxic patterns. And unfortunately, Elton John made it through, but my dad didn't. When he was 30, all that came crashing in on him, and he passed away. So we're here to keep on giving this gift. I know many people in the, let's call it the previous community, and they're very honest about it, how they were only there for the money. But as we talked yesterday about how take any pattern you want, any toxic pattern, like for me, being a narcissist before, do you think more money added to my narcissism or helped it? Do you think it was fuel to the fire or a solution to the narcissism? And obviously it was fuel to the fire. Same with all the addictions. So yeah, we all know the answer to that, Vanessa. So it's unfortunate that the ones that we're leaving behind are going down that path and committed to it. I have my other younger brother, Chase, who I attempted to drag through the process many times. Don can attest to that. And as soon as he found out our other brother, Jesse, who is open and ready and initiated coming instead of me dragging him, Chase immediately messaged Jesse, "Oh, I hope Jamie's still fun. Seems like he's on his God trip." said, well, we all know that Chase is on his ego trip. And, you know, addicted to substances every day. And so, yeah, we all have that choice to make. I know those of you on the call have made the choice. And Al, I see your hand, so we'll let you comment and then I'll bring Don on. Go ahead, Al.
Hey, Jamie. I'm not sure if you remember when we talked as a group on the old system some time back, and I said, "Hey, man, you're taking things too personally." We're in it at the beginning. If anybody saw that, somebody's trying to stiff somebody and take things personally. They don't usually mesh together. Either you're trying to help people, or you're not, and they're not the same people. And just the fact that you had that characteristic that you were taking it personally and you wanted to help in itself disproved that you're trying to stick it in one way with the money. So hopefully you got over that. And again, you're taking it too personally, I think, but that's just your character. You're a caring person. So hopefully IAMDIVINITY can kind of help you see past that. But, don't let people define you. You know who you are. Don't let people define you, and you'll be okay. I do have a question on the financial part. So if we're going to do away with the old system, if you wanted to contribute to the financial part, do we still use the old PAM that you initiated, the two systems, the Forex and the crypto, or do we need to cancel those accounts and come over to and put that in the new system that you're putting in? That's the first one. And then the second one is the Pioneer Fund completely gone. And before you answer, it's okay either way, because that wasn't our money in the first place. But I just wanted to kind of get a clear idea of how you're moving forward.
Yeah, thanks, Al. So first off, the fund, the Forex fund, crypto fund, as far as moving forward, those will stay the same right now. We're still working on building out our own brokerage for Divinity and the bank as well, the Divinity Bank. The Pioneer Fund at this point, man, it's like it just keeps dwindling to all the things that we have to do, and most of the people aren't with us anymore. So I want to just say no on that. And if we do find a creative solution along the way, I want that bonus of if we do decide to do a charity thing, to go to the people that are truly with us, in the new system. So that's where we're at with it right now. Just sick of getting hit up, can we get paid yet? So we're gonna just move forward. And the ones that don't want to come with us, that's all good, but we're not gonna keep any ties to the information stuff.
Good enough. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, I'm as I said, need to do my divine focus after the last couple hours. So I'm gonna bring Don on, and yeah, appreciate all of you moving forward with us, and yeah, hurts to let some of them go, with some of the attacks that I saw. You get close to some people and care about them, and like my brother, for example, it's no different. So there's Chris. He says, if I have to knock you out to get my money, I will. Awesome. It's Chris. Welcome to the call. Oh man, yeah, it's tough because all it was we figured out for the few of us how to get these prop firms, and never intended to help all these people that came in. It was just everyone came out of the woodwork wanting one, and I just couldn't say no. And next thing you know, we're on this crazy 6-month fucking journey. So yeah, Chris, breaking up with the ego. This is my official divorce, initiating divorce. And you can hit up the prop firms for your money, because that's where it went. But done.
Well, good day, everybody. I think it's day for you, night for me. I'm a 4 in the morning till 8 at night, so it's a trek to be very alive at this time for me. But anyway, a few things. Just as Jamie was talking, I had 6 sisters, and one of them died today, and one of the other ones was put in a home yesterday. And I had lost my younger brother 30 years ago, and I offered this to all 3 of them. And my brother's mom said, "Get the hell away from me with that voodoo shit." And okay, David. Okay, done and done. And yeah, my sister that died today, she was in a home for at least 10 years. At least 10 years. And yeah, it's crazy. And one of my other ones, sisters have Alzheimer's. Yeah. My oldest brother is alcohol addiction. It's like, yeah. And it's crazy how they were around me. I have one sister, well, 1.5. I have one sister that's doing this, and my youngest sister in and out, in and out, in and out. Anyway, as much as, like Jamie says, as much as we'd love to have people have this, I've got accustomed to, if somebody sees in me, my light and whatever, and they ask, "Wow, what's different about you?" I remember there was something that was sent to me. Jamie and I were in Dubai for about 3 months. I think it was, Jamie, around that time. And I used to go to the largest mall in the world, Dubai Mall, is it correct? Dubai Mall. I would go there dressed up and just walk around, and this one person that had met me said, "Don, like, you're lifting all of these people, and these thousands and thousands of people in this mall just by you being in your light," which is awesome to hear, because that's what well, I'm here for me, and I would love everyone to have this, really would. And I used to do everything I could to get it. Now it's like, yeah, no, you can't see it. Not much I can do about it. And what I really love is children. Like they just come running up to me, come running up and jump on my arms, and yeah, like it's so beautiful, because they don't have any of the, "Who is this? What's wrong?" You know, how's this? What's this guy going to take from me? Or like whatever. There's none of that. They just see the purity and the innocence and the light, and they are attracted to it. Just like you know, you put a light out in the middle of the night, there's going to be different bugs and whatever fly to that light. Only in this case, it's people that can recognize it. And so, yeah, it's tough watching our loved ones making really tough decisions, like serious. And like I said, I grew up in an alcoholic home, 10 kids, and we were out of 8 communities, we were the second poorest house in the whole community. second poorest. And we didn't have any. And so it was like getting through all of that with all my addictions and breaking through. And you know, it's like this year is 44 years. Me unraveling this and unraveling and unraveling, and taking this program and that program, finding out that that didn't work and this didn't work and whatever. And finally I broke through the traditional whatevers, and have been led by the divine to something that's staggeringly amazing. Gentleman here with us tonight came all the way from, how do you pronounce your country?
Tonga.
Tonga. And we went through the process, what, 2 days ago? 3 days ago. And it was amazing. What was beautiful, what was absolutely beautiful about his process was zero resistance. Wasn't questioning anything. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do to get ready. And he was the first person that I did that it was the complete opposite to everyone else. And what I mean by that is, before, you know, there's a 2-page questionnaire that I give people. And when they fill it out, I just start asking questions. And usually by the bottom, I got it figured out where all the pieces are. In the first line, in the first sentence, in 3 words, oh, that's it. And all I did was every one of the questions, I related it back to that. And that was it. And that was it. And that was it. It was the same one. And it was like him making a decision when something really, really negative happened when he was 9, and he hardened his heart. Every symptom he had was from that one decision at 9. And he didn't even know he made it, didn't even know he had it. And when that lanced that emotional boil, boom, there it was, just shining as bright as the sun. And so, yeah, like we can go through all of these phobic energies, you know, like the lady I mentioned a few nights ago, you know, like a phobia of seaweed. Imagine seeing seaweed and being terrified of seaweed. Because there's no logic. There's no logic to the ego, and there's no logic to a phobia. There isn't any. There is none. And so it's like, okay, of 488,000 pieces, which is the one that's driving them all. And it's amazing the layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of programs, fears, phobias, whatevers. And they were all created in one instant. And all I do is trace it back neurologically and suddenly bypassing this intellect, and trace it to that origin. And I lance that emotional boil. And it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, if you have a boil, a physical boil, what do? You lance it, let the air in, and that's what it is. And the crazy thing is, we have these false beliefs of who we think we are based on those events in our lives. And then we're driven for different things, like, you know, like what Jamie's trying to do is set up this financial piece. And the problem is that if we do that before this, then it won't hold. It's like the boil or the blister is still there. And all the money in the world is not going to take it away. it won't. Actually, all it does is mask. And that's what Jamie found out with the information. You know, that it's like, yeah, it's you're not getting to the, okay, I need to see my light. I need to see my light. I need to know what that looks like. I need to know what that feels like. And once that happens, like things, not always, but things start to align. And one of the things that Jamie used the word tonight, one of the things that we all have to do is surrender. I don't know how many are jumping up and down with joy, but the thought of surrendering to an unknown. What am I surrendering to? And but that's what we are called to do. Once that happens, then that ego energy, which is really a fog, it's a mist, doesn't even exist. But it's this false energy, and we are acting out. In my friend's case, what happened when he was 9, and all that phobic energy around the death and dying in his particular case of his mom, and so this bubble of energy gets created. And yes, we call it an ego energy, but it's really like a mist or a fog, seeing ourselves through a mirror. And it's not real. It isn't. It's our imagination that's made this all so. And so there's this surrendering is the vital piece. And what we're actually surrendering to is our divinity, who we truly are. We are divine beings having a human experience. Well, if we're a divine being having a human experience, then we need to know what our divinity looks like. And, you know, do you give it coffee in the morning? Or do you give it a drink of alcohol at night? Or do you have a piece of lemon pie? Like, what do you feed it? Well, I feed it my quietness and my silence. That's how I connect. I divinity. And I spend minimum of 2 hours every morning as soon as I wake. And I just keep getting these downloads. And that's what this is all about. It's these downloads that I've been given from on high. And as soon as I get them, I have a journal. I started a journal, I think, about 25 years ago. And I haven't missed. And they say the journal that I have now says that 1 in 1.3 million finish a journal. I lost them all. I had boxes of my journals. And yeah. And every day I would write, and I would write, and I would write. And then I would go back and say, wow, look what happened there. Wow, that was absolutely amazing. And yes, I do get these unbelievable downloads, guidance and direction and all of that. And so coming back to this surrender, how do I know I'm surrendered? How do I know when I don't surrender? Would you like to know those answers? Anybody? Would you like to know those answers? Okay, well, here they are. When you're missing a flight, you missed your flight by 2 minutes. Okay? That's you not surrendering. Surrendering is, yeah, you were late getting to the airport. But somehow or some way, there was some kind of a function that happened on the plane that they weren't able to take off in time. And the doors, they let to open the door to let you in. And you caught that flight. Now that's surrendering. So it's all this perfect timing. It's perfect, and it's just like one thing after the other. And yeah, it's like you meet somebody or somebody picks you up, or you know, like it's like all of these just synchronistic things. Like for example, a month ago, where in the heck was it? Okay, I rented a vehicle, and I drove from Iserlohn to Davao, which is about 4 hours, 5 hours, somewhere in that vicinity. And I just got here, and I had to rent a car, a truck, and the battery died when I got here. So I got someone to give me a boost, and went somewhere, and it quit again. Okay, I need a battery, and this is like 7 in the morning. And so I looking at these, because everybody's open early in the morning here in the Philippines, or at least in Davao and Iserlohn or whatever. I don't know any of the places. Anyway, so I just saw a bill and thought, oh, maybe they would have a battery. So I walked in and asked them if they had a battery. No, we don't. But that guy standing beside you has a battery shop. That's surrender. That's surrender. He said, just follow me. Follow them. Here, put the battery in. I got a new battery, and away I went. Okay? That's surrender. Surrendering to the divine, surrendering to the world. Yeah, instead of that fighting and twisting. So when things aren't working out and you're missing this and that didn't happen and that didn't happen, that's because we're trying to run the show, trying to run this ship. Yeah, that's the difference. And I tell you, I have not perfected surrender. I have not perfected it. I'm doing a good job, but I've not perfected it. So I'll be continuing to work on that trusting in that unknown, the unfamiliar, the uncertainty there. And just trusting and going in that guidance, and yeah, and the beautiful downloads that I'm getting is beyond, I can't even say that somebody would try to lock me up. So they are just so magnificent, and they're not of this world. They're at a higher level. But that's where we're all called to be. We're called to be in this light, in this divinity, and be in this, not the other way around. And it's taken 44 years. But what's beautiful about it is that I can find this peace, in this beautiful gentleman that 3 days ago. And like I said, I did it in reverse. It was showed up in the first line. The word in the first sentence was, oh, that's it right there. And all I did was, yeah, if you did this, would that be different? Yes. How about that? Yes. How about that? Yes. How about that? Like it was all neurologically linked. I didn't say intellectually, neurologically linked. And when I traced it all back, every single question I asked was related to that one single experience. All I did was I lanced that emotional bullet. In an instant, everything was gone. In an instant. All I did then was retrace the steps, asking all the questions. No, that's not there. No, that's not here. No, that's gone. No, no, all gone. So we can be, well, there's a lady. I can't like pick one because they're like hundreds of pages of stuff. List and list and list and list of physical symptoms and medications and all of the things that the doctors and the medical did, and none of it worked. Still had it all. Still had it all. And it was gone in an hour. Yes. Because you're either working on the symptoms and the intellectual system that's created them, or in your divinity, and embrace this knowing, this actual knowing who you are. Okay? Because the beliefs of who you think you are, that's where the pain and misery and suffering is. That's where all the ego energy, and all the ego is a mirror for you to see what you're doing. That's it. And if you're full of fears and anxieties and phobias and wanting to harm people and all of those, well, there's a driver. There's a driver there. And so to be able to find that and lance it, and it's all gone. It's like popping a balloon. It literally is. And away we go. And away we go. And once again, this gentleman, I met him again tonight, this evening. And I just asked him a couple of questions, and he had dropped from 100% to 80. What was that about? And I just asked a few questions, and oh, there it was. There it was. And showed him what he did. Asked him if he wanted to change it. And boom, back to 100. So it's a fine-tuned, beautiful machine. It's made out of divineness. And when we are surrendering to that light of who we truly are, things are organically happening for us. When we are struggling, when we're in our ego, I have a sense that, okay, the universe has to find a way to show us what we're doing. Now, some are stubborn, like my two sisters, like my brother. Yeah. They're like I said, one died today, and she's been in a home for a minimum of 10 years, and they just refused. They absolutely refused what I had. And I used to put a lot of effort into trying to convince them otherwise. I said, yeah, no. Even if I did it, it wouldn't hold, because it wouldn't do what they have to do. And all they have to do is an simple exercise, divine focus. And all that divine focus is seeing our beauty and our magnificence and our awesomeness, and see where that comes from. Coming from that divine light, that divine source, there's no limit. And that's where we're meant to be all the time, 24/7. And that's what this process is. It's clearing those programs and patterns of who we think we are, the negative and the positive. Because neither one are us. They're only who you think you are. And that ego energy that you created wants to stay alive. So it will do everything it can. It'll do everything it can to prevent that from happening, because it wants to stay alive, even though it's hot air. It's an illusion. It really is. And because it's not who we are, we made it up. Just like this gentleman that's here from Tonga. He made that all up from a trauma that happened when he was 9. He made it up. He created that illusion, and lived it for how many years? You know, like, and he still had it up until 3 days ago. 3 days ago. But I'll tell you something, within, I believe, a minute of finishing the process, his wife called. Now, what is that? That's the surrender piece. Perfect time. Energetically. Perfect. And that's what we're meant to be in, that fluid flowing, going with the flow and being guided. If we're rigid and we're doing it, I got this plan and this is how we're doing it, there is no room for our divinity to guide us. So it has to wait for us to crash. And some don't make it through the crash, like my sister today. She wasn't open. Same with the other sister that went in yesterday to home. She'll end up in the same way. Like my brother a year and a half ago. Yeah. Weren't open. They were doing it this way. And the universe tries with this happening and that and all of that. And you know, if you found this I am divinity somehow, some way, where who you connected to or saw it online or accidentally tripped over something on the internet, well, that's your divinity guiding you to experience this so that you can be all of who you are. That's what we're here on this planet. We are a divine being in a human body. Yeah, that's how it is. We're meant to be in it, we're meant to live it, and we're meant to share it. That's it. That's what I'm doing. And so we do, Jamie has set up a program for you to have access to at a pretty, I would say, reasonable rate of 0. So like, I trust that you will take advantage of that gift that Jamie has decided to offer you, and see where that goes, and see what happens in your life. Because I'll guarantee you, if you do it the way it's laid out, do that divine focus after 3 times a day, spending, well, you can get away in 2 minutes, but 10 minutes is really a minute. 10 minutes, 3 times a day, reliving the divine focus experience that you had, and you're home free. And magic happens. Just magic. It's like going to Disneyland. Everywhere you turn, there's just wow, like wow. Yeah. So that's what you're in for. So if you're interested in being free to be you, who you truly are, then you're in the right place. And the ego will convince you that it's incredibly terrifying, and your life is in danger. Oh, what it really is ego is in danger. Because it knows it's going to die, because it can't live in that energy field. And that's what the light is about. You know, and I keep sharing these crazy stories of, like the one of, you know, there was 5 women coming. I was looking at a dirt bike. I was thinking of a dirt bike for going up in the mountains. And there was these 5 women coming out of this shop. And one of them had a little girl, I would get somewhere around 2 months of age. And as we got closer, the mother said, "Would you hold my daughter? She hasn't stopped looking at you since she saw you." Like, how crazy is that? And then I took her and I held her for probably 5 minutes. And it was like this, she just kept staring in my eyes. Just so peaceful. A complete stranger. Not there. So that's what you're in for. Yeah, and that is the I am divinity in its purest form. In its purest form. And yes, there is a financial program on the other side that you can access. Yes, but that's in the right order. Because if you had got the money first, you had got this, oh, we're getting a big payout, this would have got covered up. It would have been even harder to find your divinity. So you're getting both. It's just that they're in a different order than what was first. You know, in Jamie's enthusiasm, okay, consciousness and currency, and working on the currency piece. But that's what I deem the divinity had to be first, the consciousness. And that's the order that it's in. So, wish you all the very best. Get ready. Bring 1 or 2 of your friends. You're never going to get it at this price again, ever. And I look forward to seeing you when we put this on. So get ready. And I'll see you then. You take care. Sure. I do got to say that we go back quite a ways. So it's 3 years now. Is it 3 years? 4. 4 years. 4 years. So a few rough rides here and there, but both of us are incredibly determined. There's no such thing as giving up. There is not. That's not in our makeup, in our DNA, either one of us. And so I look forward to us working together and see what happens on the other side. Like our friend from Tonga. Would you mind coming up for a moment? Mind telling sit over here a bit, telling the people a bit about your experience 3 days ago and in the last 3 days since?
Simply, it's been a great thing, transformation. It's a little overwhelming because you know, I came in like Don and Jimmy mentioned, I came in just I surrender. I'm gonna have an open mind, and an open heart.
Empty mind.
Empty mind, yeah. An open heart, and just kind of receive and go through it, go through the whole transformation. And what I've mentioned earlier on the previous Zooms, the past 2 days, one of the biggest things was getting that text from my wife. You know, we were having a little argument, and the next morning, you know, after we kind of squashed everything, talking for a couple hours the night before, and then the very next morning to get that text from her. I mean, it just, you know, just brought me to my tears, you know, because she didn't know I went through the transformation with Dawn. And I decided not to tell her on purpose because I wanted to, you know, what best confirmation can I get with her telling me, you know? And she wrote it most beautiful way in the text message saying, whatever you're doing in the chat, I love the new you. I love the change. I find myself falling in love with you all over again. You know, I want to better myself for us and for this marriage and for this family. And I've already been starting the process, what I thought was bettering myself, improving myself, you know, 5 weeks ago. And she'd never said those words to me, other than, okay, she sees a little bit here and there, but never in the way, such a profound way that text message to me meant the world to me. That's what I've been waiting for this whole time, but it didn't come from her in this manner until after the transformation. And so for any of you guys that are out there that are like me, like, you know, I'm at my wit's end. I need this. We're at my wit's end. Even if you're not at your wit's end, everyone can use this. Anyone can benefit from this. I mean, I would still go through this even because it's like, oh, we seek help when we need it, but in reality, we always need help. We just may not know it yet. And going through this, and that's just one little thing from now. I'm looking back even just the past few days and seeing other things that have just really changed, you know, that I'd like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that, you know, and it's simply amazing. I'm so thankful and grateful for IAMDIVINITY, for Don and for Jamie and the whole team. And to have the full experience, in my opinion, the full experience is being here and face to face. I'm more of the interaction versus the transaction. And yeah, you can go through the Zooms and all that, but if you really want to make that, I mean, told Jamie I was ready to sell one of my cars so I can make the trip here and go through this because I knew I needed it. I was willing to do anything and everything. Marriage is in shambles. I you know, 23 years, ladies and gentlemen, 23 years of marriage, and it almost came to an end. And when you go through something like that and you're about to lose the love of your life because of things that you created, bad habits, and you're in the ego, you don't know until you don't know. And I didn't know. I didn't know what I could do, what to do, how to fix it. But when I watched Jamie for the past 10 to 12 months, and then he brought this Don guy, and then I heard Don speak, and I was like, I've got to get in his presence. I've got to do everything and anything to get in his presence and find out for myself. I'll know. I didn't expect it to be so instant, because less than 12 hours later, I got that text message from my wife, and then I'm looking back and I'm seeing other things, and other things keep happening. I'm seeing the transformation instantly. And I'm full of gratitude, and I can't wait. You know, I'm leaving. Today's my last Zoom here live with the team. So it's bittersweet. I get to go home to a much happier wife and my family. And I'm so grateful. Yeah, 5 kids, 2 grandkids. And I'm just, for any of you guys that just need a change in your life, I would highly recommend Don and his transformation. Find out for yourself. I'm not good at doing these testimonial things, whatever. All I can do is share my experience, and it's coming from the heart. And so I was ready to do anything. I'm already planning on coming back for April for the big event. And hopefully I'll be able to bring my family. If not, at least I'll be here. And I look forward to it. Don the man, it's definitely, I'm speechless. I can't even put into words other than share what I've seen. And I know I'm a plane ride 20+ hours back home. I'm gonna just reflect on everything. And the most important thing Don and I talked about today, because he knows I'm leaving in the morning, is the things I need to do. It's like when you practice for basketball or a football game, is putting in the work. He gave me simple instructions of what I need to do to stay in my divinity. Because even in the 3 days, we noticed the ego started creeping back in without even me noticing it. And when he brought it to my attention, I'm like, oh man, okay, yeah, I do not want that back in. I want to be 100% open and free, and my heart to be soft. So for those of you guys that are questioning it, or to me, if you have the means, do it. There's no and buts or ifs about it. I want to give this, like Don says, I want everyone to experience what he experienced. What I'm experiencing right now, I want everyone that I love so dear to my heart to experience this, with the understanding that not everyone will be open to it. But I know if they just see how I treat my wife, how I am, hopefully they'll see the light and see that obviously there's something here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, bud. Thank you.
Next time I come back, I'll have a pink wardrobe. This is a close cousin of pink.
Jamie, I had a question. If we want to move forward, do we write support? Like, how would you advise us? Where should we go? Is there going to be another Zoom call? Is there, like, what would you suggest at this right now?
So everything will be in our new Facebook group. And are you in the original Facebook group?
I'm in the Telegram group, and two of my friends are in the Telegram, and we're sort of like hoping to move forward. We're not too sure like how to go about it.
Okay, so in 30 minutes, the tech team will be doing an onboarding call. So I suggest you tune into that, and he can just walk you through the steps to get you inside the membership portal.
In 30 minutes?
Yeah, at the top of the hour here.
Is it possible for you to post the link here is it the same link for the onboarding? Is it a different link?
He'll post the link here in the chat for you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
So I want to add to what New was saying, because when I reached out to Dawn, I was in a lot of pain, but for the most part, it was pretty unconscious, because I had done such a good job at covering everything up. You know, I had just done what was it, 2 or 3 years of traveling around the world. And if you asked me back then, I would not have said I'm an alcoholic, like that I need to go to AA or rehab or anything like that. And I used weed almost every day. Like, had all these addictions that, looking outside in the regular world, can easily be justified. I mean, who do you know that doesn't go to the bar once a week, or like alcohol is very popular, what I was doing, and everyone was praising me for it too. done well financially, and like I said, I just had freedom to travel around, but the time, like the free time I had and the more money I made, it just fueled all my addictions. But I remember reaching out to Don, I was like, I gotta go through this program, man. It was at a very deep intuitive level. Like I wasn't calling Don saying, hey, can you help me stop drinking? You know, like I didn't ask him, hey, can you help me with this narcissism thing? Like I wasn't even aware I had that, you know, like all these things that were just caked in there that looking back, I'm just shocked at who that person was, you know, me living in the ego. But I think that's maybe important for some of you to hear that, you know, like unless you're really taking a deep look and you're conscious of it, which I wasn't until after I went through the process. That's when I became fully aware of how abusive I was being to myself and everyone, and all the addictions that I, you know, covered up as normal. Yeah, it wasn't until after, like, holy shit, like this person is a total nutcase. You know. But yeah, I wasn't aware of any of that. I didn't call Don saying, hey, can you get rid of my weed addiction, sex addiction, caffeine addiction, alcohol, I want to stop partying, you know, this travel addiction, I can't even do it right now because all the lockdowns are happening. Like that wasn't how I was seeing it. Just intuitively, I'm like, man, there's got to be more to life. Like this, I don't want to keep doing this. It felt like Groundhog Day. Even though I was waking up in a new place every few days, it got to that point. I was addicted to the external stimuli. But it was like that movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, where it's like the same broken record player just playing every day. And when I got to the height of all that, right, like I couldn't travel anymore, and I couldn't make more money to make me happy, and I couldn't have more time freedom because I barely was working. Like I figured out how to create all this external freedom for myself. I was like, there's nowhere to go after this. Like what? And it was just this deep pain of like, man, there's gotta be more to this bullshit. That had me really reach out to Don. So,
Well, just on that, from an addiction perspective, there was a guy a billionaire flew to see me, and he had 5 addictions: alcohol, drugs, food, gambling, and sex. He was in such a panic that he hadn't flown his private jet in 6 months. There was a litany of things going on. And we worked together on Thursday and Friday morning. Wow. My cravings are gone. And I met him he was on my on-demand, and we met once a month for a year. Actually, it was 15 months. And quite often we would play golf together. And 15 months later, there was still no trace of any of those 5 addictions. They were all gone that day. Okay, so like if you're looking at the traditional models, it's not it. It's not. It's finding that emotional boil that's driving these addictions and all of this. And listen.
was he aware that you had all those addictions? Like, was he coming to you for that, or do you recall?
Yeah, well, yeah, and he was in the middle of a messy divorce, but yeah, he knew about all those addictions. He just consciously aware. Yeah. So
I was just in denial.
right. And he was coming, hopefully, that he could get his marriage back. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So anyway, whatever the reason is, they come. But all I'm talking about is, I'm not dealing with symptoms. We'd be there for 100 lifetimes. Okay. Just like Noah. It was like one single situation all his problems, all of his programs came from that one situation. And same with Jamie. And so that's how it works. So there you have it.
Yeah, it's amazing, how most times you don't even know what the symptoms are.
Yep.
And everything clears up.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Most are not even remotely consciously aware of what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they're doing it, and all of those kind of things. All they know is they're in pain. There's a pain of something. Getting a divorce, keep having accidents. I'm in the hospital half the time. I've got all these illnesses and sicknesses. Yeah, it's like, yeah. And yeah, they just, when that stops, they clean it up, everything's gone. And you're back to this who you truly are energy, which is your divinity, whatever that looks like to you. So there you have it.
There it is. So there's only a couple of days left for the free access. So I really encourage you guys, if you haven't already, to get your membership logins. We'll help you out with that at the top of the hour. And then February 7th, we're doing our next live group event. So we'll be doing that in person in the Philippines, but we'll be including you guys on Zoom. Do that live on Zoom. Sam, you want to close out with anything?
Sure.
Thanks.
But take center stage.
Awesome. Yes. I think it takes a lot of courage to be able to do what Jamie just did, and to really just lay it out clear, no matter how much ego wants to attack and whatnot. And so I know a couple of you guys were able to, just verbalize that to him. So I just want to verbalize that to him as well myself. Because if you don't know, obviously he has a huge heart and he wants to help people. But once we started to realize how important it was to put divinity first, I think he started to realize like it was using these little things against him, against really our community, which is all you guys that are here. And so, yeah, we're just really excited to be here with you guys. And I really appreciate the support of the accountability of Jamie, Dawn. Dawn actually asked me to, I had sent an email to my ex-wife telling her like, hey, like, no matter what happened through our entire marriage, no matter, I forgive you and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And Dawn was like, you should call her. She said, you messed up. You should call her. And actually, as I was sitting here, I got an email from her. So I'm sure we'll be able to talk. She was a little bit hesitant, but at least I got a response. So super awesome. We're here to help you guys step into the best version of you, which is the original you. Like I said, that's who you are. You don't have to become anyone different. You don't have to do the Tony Robbins seminars. You don't have to do the ayahuasca journeys. I know a lot of you guys want to fight to continue to do the ayahuasca, but you don't need to do that, right? It's like we have it right here. And so we're really excited to have you guys to continue the journey with us. Like Jamie said, we have someone just said, striving to be a better human is a noble pursuit. I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing here looks very similar to cults of days past. Interesting. Didn't know that. I mean, we're not saying you're not going to evolve. We're always evolving, right? Like Mr. Don is always evolving his techniques and the process and making it, putting the different puzzle pieces. We're constantly evolving as humans, but to say that you have to become a better version of you is saying that something wrong with you right now. And there's absolutely nothing wrong. You're a beautiful, magnificent being. And Mr. Don always says this, right? It's like, who's the artist? Da Vinci?
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Da Vinci.
Leonardo.
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo,
Or,
right? He,
Statue of David.
you know, him, and he talks about the statue of David, where he didn't actually have to, the way that he carved that statue wasn't by carvings. He just basically chipped away everything that wasn't David. And that's what this process is. And so, yeah, just want you guys to feel this as well. It really is true freedom. You know, they're talking about the addictions. And when I said this in the beginning, I was smoking weed every day, drinking 4 cups of coffee a day, sex addiction, all of that. And so I've had a cup of coffee, go smoke weed, feel absolutely amazing, running maybe on a couple of hours of sleep every single night, but then still able to accomplish so much and more. And so we're excited to have you guys to continue the I Am Divinity process. We're still going to be doing the money programs, right? We still have the Forex fund. We still have the crypto fund. We're going to have the smart contracts, which as soon as you, let's say you introduce someone to the community, guess what? You get paid instantaneously, which is amazing. No one has that. We're also going to have the I Am Divinity Bank, which is amazing, right? Like every time someone swipes their card, you'll get paid. And of course, we'll have the affiliate program that ties it all in together. So, but it's none of that matters if the foundation isn't set correctly, which is starting with the I Am Divinity process. So, before I end it, I just want to bring up one more person if they're on the call, because he had such a profound transformation. When I watched him talk about his transformation, I bust out crying. So if you're on the call, I'm drawing a blank right now. Gilbert. I'm literally drawing a blank, but yes, Gilbert, if you're on the call, could you hop on just for a few minutes and just share your testimony of what happened after you experienced Don's transformation, which he didn't do in a group session. He didn't do it live, nor did he come to the Philippines. He did it just through the membership portal. So Gilbert, are you on the call?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me, Sam?
Loud and clear, bro.
Yo, what's Gucci, man? Okay, the process, all I can do is thank you guys. Like seriously, like right now, hopefully I have a little bit of time to show Don. I wanted to give him a gift, and I'll show you guys the gift in a little bit. But I want to start off by saying thank you so much, because this has been a life-changing transformation. So many people have been coming into my life asking me what this is. A lot of people trauma, and you guys already hit it with the nail over the head. A lot of the people that truly need this the most are the ones that flake out the most, and it hurts. It hurts because you know they need it. You know they need it, and you know it can help them, and you know it could heal them, and still they're still not doing it. So hopefully within time, hopefully with enough of us actually going through this process, they'll see my huge transformation. I went, like I said again, Jamie reminds me a lot like me, but without the finances part. So like on the other spectrum, okay? So I was just that asshole narcissist that was broke, okay? And I went through a lot of trauma. I went through a lot of trauma, and this process has highlighted a lot of blackout spots in my memory bank. A lot of them very traumatizing. I've gone through so many releases every single time I go through this transformation. Like every day I get at least 2 to 3 huge releases where I'm just crying hysterically, like seriously. And I'm like, wow, how much trauma do we have? Like how much is in there? And I'm so glad that this process, even though it is like transformative, like instantly transformative, it is still the most subtle and compassionate process I've ever paid. Well, I didn't pay. I paid my attention. That's all I tried doing with you guys. You guys opened it up for that. So I really do appreciate that beautiful opportunity. And I've been searching. Like Don said, he's like, I've been working on myself more than 50% of the population. Don, I was on that trail too. I did 9 years, and I did the hour in the morning, the hour at night, but you figured out the middle day, sustain it. And then you figured out the ammunition for the ego that it would have taken me another, God knows how long would have taken me to get to that. But I felt like I was like at 60% in my life. Like I felt like I was like, something's missing. And then you guys came along, and I'm so grateful, Sam, to have had you as a friend, because if I wouldn't have seen your lives, and I wouldn't have had that nice little argumentative battle with the ego. So I'm so grateful for you, bro. I really am. And I'm so grateful for all the trauma. If you guys are hesitant about the situation, I no longer have my weed addiction for 19 years. When I was a kid, I was influenced. I had a lot of molestation that happened to me growing up. So I got into like pornography really young. And then my ego was just like, after I was doing professional development, my ego was still trying to like protect it and be like, come on, bro, just weekly, bro. How about just semi-weekly? How about monthly, bro? Just monthly. I swear. Your frequency is gonna go up, I promise. And then yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that the ego is no longer there to persuade me. I feel like since I've been going in hard, I told a lot of my friends and family, I was like, I'm doing this like Pokemon. I'm gonna keep leveling up my Pokemon, and I'm that Pokemon. So I'm gonna try to cap this sucker. So the more battles I get into, the more I'm gonna, get out of it. And on the 8th day, I'm not gonna lie, bro. On the 8th day, the ego was just like trying to give me the pain body was trying to mess with my back because of that car accident I was in. And it was trying to influence me. See, you see, the process doesn't work. You said you were completely free of pain yesterday. What happened there, bucko? And I'm just like, all right, you ought to play like that, bro? Let's see. So I just took a deeper breath in, man. I just went, you gotta go, Felicia. You got to go. And I'm just super grateful, bro. You have no idea how many miraculous things. I went to go visit my friend 2 days ago. And as I was going to go walk to his house, a neighbor comes by and picks me up instantly. Like as soon as I just barely walk out, and they're like, you going somewhere? I was like, yeah, to my friends. And then dropped me off over there. Unfortunately, Eddie wasn't there. And eventually he'll be on the story right now. But he wasn't there. And I tried going 3 times because I was like, I know he needs this. And he wasn't. And I was too lazy to walk another like 5 blocks to go to the park where the basketball courts were at. And I saw a random like house that had like a legit basketball court. And I just went, I was like, I'm feeling really lucky today. And I went to the door and
Do
I
we have
asked,
anything
I
in
was
the
like,
fridge? Do we have any? I don't think we
do
did.
you think?
Okay. And she showed you how to lock it?
You made it, Gilbert.
So yeah, so he answers the door. I remember his name like it was yesterday, Umberto. I was like, hey, Umberto, you got a nice court, man. What are the odds that I could play a little, throw a few little hoops, throw a little, and I kid you not, bro. And I told him, I was like, oh, is that a cactus? I grow a bunch of stuff. I have a food forest. I was like, is there any way I can get a little trimming? He's like, yeah. After that, I was like, do you think I could play? He goes, yeah, go for it. And I'm just like, that whole day, everybody was treating me like family. I already told you about the kids in Walmart staring at me, coming to talk to me. And then yesterday, I had 6 people come over because they really wanted to see what was happening. And so I went through the process with them. I reiterated that they didn't have to be here once again. You don't have to be anywhere. You could be wherever you're at is home. We just have to tap into it with your guys' beautiful process. And they enjoyed it. You have no idea. And there were adolescents. So the youth was there, and I was telling them how lucky they were to have it so young. You know, you guys are going to be the leaders of the future. And then you don't know how big the hugs they gave me, bro. It was like, they gave me like at least a good 4 or 5 minute hug. Like, they didn't want to let go of me. And I really want to see where this takes. Oh, okay, 2 other weird ones. Like I said again about the roof, it only leaks. I've been lazy about fixing it, okay? Financial issues, temporary, that's all the past now. But I'm working on it. But it only leaked a little bit when we had heavy rain. And I literally recorded it, bro. I'll put it on the Facebook thing today. But I'll show you the little video. It was started to leak randomly, bro. I went outside and it was dry. The sand was dry. And I'm just like, where's this water coming from? This makes no sense. Okay. And then one other miracle, random thing that I saw, I typically clean my fish tank. I have a pretty nice fish tank and I have the filters. Man, they're nasty too. So I go to the tub and I always clean it out the same process, right? And everything goes and then spirals down, right? But it was weird because yesterday 2 days ago when I finally cleaned it, something trippy started happening, bro. I'm not kidding. Like, it like I said again, it only goes all the way down. I've done it many times, and it only goes straight down and it spirals down the drain. But I kid you not, I was like kneeling in the middle trying to clean them out, and I kid you not, I saw 3 more little spirals happening to the left of me and to the right, like creating like a gravitational field or something. And I was just like, what's happening? What's happening? Like, it freaked me out, bro. I'm not gonna lie. And then God just said, that's just your energy, bro. Stop freaking out. I was like, okay, all right. I'm not going crazy. It's just the process. Thank you. Oh, before I go, I really want to show the gift that I want to give Don. Like, it took me a ridiculous amount of time to make, but I couldn't find anybody who I thought was worthy to have taken all that energy and time from me. But I would like to appreciate him one day. When I have enough funds, I would like to send them this little baby over.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Where'd he go?
Okay. So
Can you go back to the painting?
What happened?
Can you go back to the painting really quick?
Oh yeah, sure. Let me draw a light real quick. But it's purple and pink, guys. You know, the crazy thing is, I also drew 2 other ones. Can you guys see me? Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and there's 2 other ones that I have, one for Sam and one for Jamie as well too. But the Jamie one's not done yet though, okay? But this is the biggest one I have, okay? And then it's like this spray painted glass shattered, and I just brought it back together like a mosaic. And then this is sacred geometry. This was supposed to be, it's called Royal Abundance. And I couldn't think of anybody else that was worthy, that I personally believed was worthy to even, you know, just take care of it. Because I know Don will definitely appreciate and take care of art, and because he's taking care of so many people, man. So one day when I scrape up some more funds, I'll definitely do the best I can to ship it out as soon as possible for y'all. Okay? Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate y'all.
Come with it. So what we're gonna do for you, Gilbert, is we're gonna invite you out to the Philippines. Bring the paintings with you.
Yeah, we'll cover the plate.
You hear that? Yeah, bro, your energy, you're just such a beautiful human, bro. And we all saw it from the very beginning. And just that gesture. We wanna we want to invite you out to the Philippines and to be here with your family, your soul family. So
Hey, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. Don, I'm sorry for your loss, bro. Jamie, I'm so proud of you, bro, breaking through and not giving up and rolling through with this process. Sam, thank you. Thank you for showing us what a divine masculine looks like. And I truly appreciate it. I feel like I'm trying to break free every single day. And yeah, this process is really helping with that. Thank you for all the love and compassion, infinite love and light your way.
Gilbert, bro, appreciate you.
Appreciate you all.
Message me after, we'll figure things out.
Woo! Will do.
So, I mean, there's really not much more to say. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like we said, like if we have even one person that's on this mission with us, we're all in, you know. I'm speechless, honestly. The guy saw me yesterday. I watched Gilbert's testimony on one of the past recordings, and I just bust out crying because, you know, I just remember being in all that pain. I remember asking for an answer. I remember just not knowing, being confused, even though it seemed like I knew what I was doing and everyone was like, quote unquote, looking up to me. I was absolutely confused, lost, hopeless. And we have the answer here. And you heard Gilbert's testimony, and he's just a beautiful light in this world. And so we're looking for people like you, Gilbert. And of course knew his testimony. I'm not, obviously. I love you, bro. So with that being said, if you guys want a little bit more help with all the other extra services, hop on the onboarding call. Will be taking care of you guys. Once again, shout out to Will. A lot of this stuff wouldn't be possible if it weren't for his dedication to the mission. Also, shout out to our videographer and our new partner, Mr. Joel. With that being said, we love you guys. It's literally 1 minute till the next call, so we're right on time, which is interesting because we don't operate on that time program. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow at 11 p.m. Philippines time, 10 a.m. Eastern. And yeah, Gilbert, let's talk. Hit me up. Good.
Roger that. Got you, bro.